Finally back in the States. I guess we'll call this a rest day. Technically, yesterday was the rest day when I was coming back from London. I sort of had a little bit of a ethical dilemma. Or not a dilemma, but kind of a problem that I was trying to decide the right answer to. Because I got back at around midnight. And we left for the airport around 5. And the amount of food and water that I drank during that whole period, let's just say it was not as much as I would like. So back at midnight, and a little beforehand, made an executive decision. Can you believe it? Skip the gym. But I mean, that's always been my approach. Every time I talk about rest days, I don't say never take a rest day. I say only take them when necessary. You know, and I've only got 2 situations when that occurs. Either I'm fucking sick as a dog, which, even if I'm a little sick, I usually still go. Or, if I'm just fucking busy, man, scheduling wise, to the point where I can't really prepare enough to have a good workout. The arm day that I'm gonna have today, after sleeping all night, getting a big ass bowl of eggs, cheese, salsa, and onions, and then sleeping all day, plus having like 2 liters of water with some electrolyte mix in them. This arm day today is gonna be much more effective. Just because, well, I mean, I'm more well rested, obviously, more hydrated, and I'm just gonna feel better when I do it, you know? So I want to lift as frequently as possible, daily. You know, that's pretty much the bar, which I like. But if I can't prepare, like if the night before I got zilch for sleep, hardly ate much, kind of dehydrated, it's not gonna be in my best interest to fucking, you know, stress my body out by doing a lift. I gotta kind of get on my A game when it comes to those 3 pillars of preparation. You know, I say this all the fucking time. Sleep, food and drink. I guess that's really it. Sleep, food, drink. If you're properly rested, well fed, and well hydrated, I have no reason to believe that you can't do a lift back to back to back to back to back. And if you ever feel like, you know, you're a little bit tired or you're unrested or you just, I mean, you know for a fact that you're not going to have a very productive lift, then it may be in your best interest to back off. But the problem arises with that sort of thought process of gauging whether or not you should go lift or stay home and rest. Because, you know, for the most part, people are fucking lazy. And I don't mean just people, I'm talking about me included, you know? So where is that bar? You know, where can you really tell, like, oh, I actually am physically tired. I should stay home. I should rest. I should save up some energy to lift tomorrow. You know, where does that get blurred to, I'm feeling kind of lazy. I'll just say I'm taking a rest day. You know, so that's where I think that the 2 thought processes of frequency, one is a little bit better to start with, and I think the other one is kind of babyish, you know? So if you start out working out and you've got the mentality, no matter what, sick, 0 sleep, feel like shit, you're going to lift. I'm not going to say that every lift you're going to have is super productive, but you will kind of have that dog in me mentality, and it's going to show. And then the guy who constantly takes rest days whenever he feels the slightest level of discomfort, or he's not totally hyped up to go lift, or like some of his buddies weren't going to be at the gym that day, so he says, I'll just stay home. You know, that guy, I don't think all of a sudden he's going to like start training like a freak. I think he's going to consistently just kind of be a schmuck almost, you know? And I know that you see dudes who just, they're right there, 0 progress. They're locked in at a 225 bench, and they just look the fucking same, you know? So I would be inclined to believe that those guys aren't really pushing it so hard to the point where they're actually, you know, training to discomfort. Because you got to remember, if you look the same month after month after month, then that means that everything you've been doing and all the energy that you put into working out, diet, sleep, like the amount of shit you have to give up, because you're giving up a fucking, I mean, including the drive, pretty much 2 hours a day. You've only got so much time. So this is like taking 2 hours out of every day. Fuck, man, you better enjoy it. But if after 3 months or 6 months or a year or many years, you're still the same dude, then that means that everything you've been doing has only been enough to maintain where you're at now. I bet in a way a lot of people are jealous of somebody like that because they're not constantly like, I don't want to say dissatisfied. It's not like I look in the mirror and I think, oh God, I look like shit, fuck, or I'm not big enough. But, you know, it is kind of just a constant reaching, a constant like yearning for more and more, which, I mean, some people, especially anybody who's like a fucking gearhead freak, they probably lose fact of, they probably got a little bit of a switch flipped off in their brain, you know, so. But what I'm trying to say here is the guy who starts out training every day, no matter what, just fucking going hard like a nut, like nothing's gonna stop him. Once he realizes, which I feel like I've kind of done, eventually, like, okay, maybe I should take a rest day because that is literally going to be better for my progress than to train right now. Like, it's going to be better for me growth-wise to save legs for tomorrow and just take a rest day because I can tell I'm a little dehydrated, I didn't prepare properly, I should rest. Right? The guy who switches from that fucking nut mentality to more of a, like, okay, this is legitimately the best move, that's going to be smarter. The guy who constantly fucking, yeah, I'll just back off. I'm going to take a rest month. I need to desensitize. Come on. Which one of those guys is going to be more jacked? You know, so that's really the main point I'm trying to say there.